Awakened 1-2. Anger. Author Fafu. Anger, one of the afflictions, inevitably gives rise to 8 kinds of suffering, though one remains unaware of this fact. For instance, when a person is consumed by anger, they contort their face in a hideous manner, and through body, speech, and mind, they tarnish their own image. Impulsively, they destroy the person, the circumstances, or the objects of their anger, thus creating mutual suffering. An awakened and wise person, however, would never stoop to the level of a dog by biting it in return after being bitten. For instance, when one seeks revenge out of anger, they often become blinded by rage, unable to see the bigger picture. Driven solely by the desire to vent their anger, they recklessly commit evil deeds without considering the consequences. They may even make vicious vows, inviting future karmic retribution and suffering in lower realms. An awakened and wise person, on the other hand, would simply let go of past grievances and refrain from creating new ones. For instance, when one is consumed by anger, they justify their wrath by enumerating the wrongs done to them. In this way, they avoid practicing compassion and instead escalate their harmful actions. An awakened and wise person, however, would never defile their own virtuous intentions by dwelling on the negativity of others, as if consuming another's excrement. For instance, when one harbors resentment, they engrave the injuries inflicted upon them deep within their hearts, biding their time for revenge. They feel entirely justified in doing so, without a hint of remorse. An awakened and wise person understands that the cycle of retaliation is endless and seeks to transform negative karma through compassion. For instance, when one is consumed by anger, they project their blame onto others, failing to introspect. They criticize and resent, perpetuating negative karma. An awakened and wise person, however, understands the law of karma and maintains a heart filled with remorse and repentance. For instance, when one is driven by anger, they become unreasonable. Even when others act with the best intentions, the slightest transgression can be magnified into a flaw, causing others to feel discouraged and destroying relationships. An awakened and wise person respects and is grateful for all things. For instance, when one gives in to anger, they vent their frustrations without considering the consequences, creating countless verbal transgressions. An awakened and wise person, on the other hand, remains unaffected by emotions and is careful with their words and actions. For instance, when one is consumed by anger, they resort to violence, assuming a ferocious demeanor and inflicting irreparable harm upon others. An awakened and wise person, on the other hand, brings joy to others and enhances their own charisma. If one is not greedy, can anger still arise? Is the suffering arising from anger inevitable?